Before your company deploys another AI tool, ask 4 questions. Who owns it? What data does it use? What could go wrong? And who is allowed to approve it? If those questions cannot be answered clearly, the problem is not the technology. The governance foundation is missing. In this video, we will walk through a practical AI governance checklist covering 7 things every organization should have before deploying AI. This is not about creating unnecessary bureaucracy. It is about making AI use visible, accountable, proportionate, and controlled. The first requirement is an AI use case inventory. You cannot govern what you cannot see. Your organization needs a structured overview of the AI systems and tools that are being used, tested, purchased, or considered. For each use case, record the business purpose, owner, provider or model, data involved, expected users, current status, and initial level of risk. This can begin with a structured register in Excel or Microsoft Lists. The important point is that AI use is visible across departments and does not remain hidden in individual teams or software subscriptions. The second requirement is clear ownership. Every AI use case should have a named business owner. That person should understand why the use case exists, how it supports the business, and what outcomes it is expected to produce. Depending on the use case, additional input may be required from IT, information security, data protection, legal, compliance, procurement, data governance, or risk management. But someone must remain accountable for the business application. AI governance cannot belong to everyone in theory and no one in practice. Not every AI use case should follow the same process. A tool that improves the wording of an internal email does not create the same risk as a system that evaluates job applicants, influences financial decisions, or supports medical recommendations. A practical screening should consider: does the use case affect individuals? Does it process personal, confidential, or sensitive data? Does it influence an important decision? How much human oversight is available? What happens if the output is wrong? Could it create unfair, misleading, unsafe, or non-compliant outcomes? The result should determine the level of review. Lower-risk use cases may follow a lightweight route. Higher-risk use cases should require stronger assessment, testing, documentation, approval, and monitoring. The fourth requirement is a data, privacy, and security review. AI systems depend on data, and the way data is entered, transferred, stored, or reused matters. Before deployment, understand what information the system receives, where that information goes, whether the provider retains it, and whether it may be used to improve external models. Employees also need clear rules about which information may never be entered into public or unapproved AI tools. An AI tool should never be assumed to be safe simply because it is easy to access. The fifth requirement is a defined review and approval workflow. A good governance process makes clear what must happen before deployment. A practical workflow may include registration, initial screening, specialist reviews where needed, documentation of required controls, a decision, and formal approval. It should also define who can approve lower-risk use cases, and when a use case must be escalated. The purpose is not to slow down every experiment. The purpose is to prevent important decisions from being made informally and without evidence. The sixth requirement is ongoing monitoring and incident management. Approval is not the end of AI governance. Providers may update their systems. Data may change. Users may apply the tool in new ways. Performance may decline, and new risks may appear. Before deployment, define what will be monitored, who will review the results, how often the review will occur, and which events require action. The organization also needs a simple way to report inaccurate or harmful outputs, unexpected behavior, data exposure, complaints, unauthorized use, and significant provider changes. A clear incident process should explain who assesses severity, when use must be paused, and how corrective actions are tracked. The seventh requirement is practical guidance for employees. Policies are useful, but employees also need clear instructions. They should know which tools are approved, what information they may enter when human review is required, how AI-generated content should be checked, and where questions or incidents should be reported. Training does not need to be long or theoretical. It should reflect the way people actually use AI in their daily work. These 7 requirements create a practical foundation. An inventory creates visibility. Ownership creates accountability. Risk screening creates proportionality. Data, privacy, and security reviews protect information. A workflow creates consistent decisions. Monitoring and incident management create ongoing oversight. And practical employee guidance turns governance into everyday behavior. Your organization does not need to implement everything at maximum complexity on day 1. Start with a simple register named owners, proportionate screening, clear approval rules, and basic monitoring. Then strengthen the model as AI use and risk increase. Before deploying your next AI use case, ask whether all 7 requirements are in place. If several answers are no, pause before deployment and close the gaps first. If you need a ready-to-use starting point, practical AI governance templates and implementation toolkits are available through the first link in the description.